Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Managed Network Services MNS DIR-CPO-STS-609 Bidders Conference. We are glad to have you with us today. Before we get started, let's cover a couple housekeeping items. Just a reminder that you can change your audio by switching between your computer and phone. We want to remind everybody that everybody is muted this afternoon, but if you have questions or if you have something to address with the group, please open your Q&A box and put your questions in there and we'll take time to answer those. But before we get started, if you would, please raise your hands real quick and let us know you can hear us pretty clearly so we have a good audio connection. All right, thank you for that. Also, we'll be making a handout available after the webinar ends. I'm going to pass it over to Cassie.
Thank you, Patty. Good afternoon and hello. My name is Cassandra Holmes, and I am the procurement lead for this RFO. Speaking today, we have Jody Erickson, Deputy Chief Financial Officer, Strategic Finance, Sally Ward, Deputy Chief Operations Officer, Shared Technology Services, Teresa Williamson, Director, Business Outreach Coordination Office, Chris Walton, Assistant General Counsel, Office of General Counsel, and Aaron Fox, Accessibility Specialist, Chief Experience Office. Next slide. As we get started, I just want to note that this meeting is being recorded. Once the recording is ready, it will be posted as an addendum on the electronic State Business Daily, along with a full attendee list and a copy of the slides. Any questions submitted before or during this conference will also be answered through an addendum. We encourage all interested parties to check the ESBD frequently for updates, as this will be the official location for all information going forward. Next slide. Here's a quick look at today's agenda. We'll start off with an overview of shared technology services, followed by the MNS vision and scope. Then we'll move into the RFO overview, response submission requirements, evaluation criteria, negotiation processes, subcontracting plan, the digital accessibility requirements, legal matters, and general information, including how to submit questions. We'll close with the next steps and reminders, and each section will be presented by a subject matter lead. Next slide. And now we'll turn it over to Sally Ward with Shared Technology Services. Sally.
Thank you, Cassie. I'm Sally Ward, and I want to talk to you a bit about how managed network services will fit into our shared technology services program. So if you would move to the next slide. In our program, our operating model includes multiple managed services that are provided to our customers. All of those are integrated with our multi-sourcing services integrator, or MSI, that you can see in the blue bar at the top. The towers on the bottom are the ones that we have in place today, with the exception of the green box, which is what we're talking about today for managed network services. So let's go to the next slide. One of the things that I want to make sure we're all aware of is the value statement that DIR intends to provide to the state for all the services that we offer through shared technology services. And the four words are secure, reliable, cost-effective, and modern. If you ask us what our vision is, what we're looking for secure, reliable, cost-effective, and modern managed network services. We find that these drive the customer's needs and the reasons why they come to shared technology services in the first place to purchase rather than doing it themselves. Let's go to the next slide. I want to give a little background about how we got here. Why are we putting out an RFO for network services? And first of all, I want to be really clear, it's a completely new service component within shared technology services. There are no current customers. There are no committed volumes. There is no incumbent. There are no services to be taken over at commencement. That's important when we talk a bit later about transition. So we did begin, DIR began offering services, network services through our TXAN, or Texas Agency Network Services, in 2011. And those services are provided in kind of a do-it-yourself model. And there are specific TXAN services that are distinct and separate from our managed network services offerings. And some of those examples are listed here on this slide. We'll talk a little bit more about the differences between the two in a few slides. Let's move on. I think it's important for us to clarify the difference between a contract transition and customer onboarding to managed network services. Transition is the period of time after which the contract has been executed and the successful respondent, or SR for short on these slides, the successful respondent will transition into being able to provide these services. So what does that mean? They will be setting up their key personnel, getting their staff onboarded, writing documentation and about the program, doing customer outreach, reaching out to all of the customers that DIR has, making known to them the availability of these services, when and how they can request those services. And then RFS, or request for solution, and project alignment. We have to figure out how all of that works with bringing on a new customer and starting a service. It also includes implementing any software tools that you will propose in your bid. It also includes standing up your network operations center and demonstrating that you're operationally ready to have the first customer submit a request for service to you for network services. So that's the transition from the contract standpoint. Notice again, there is no transition of ongoing work from an incumbent. There is no incumbent. Next, looking at customer onboarding, we expect to accept RFSs 1 month before commencement of services, which that would be August 1st of 27. That is where you would be responsible for developing a solution and a proposal and providing that to the customer of what services you can provide. And then effective 9/1 of 27, you would actually be enrolling that customer and starting those services. So we have had some questions come in already, and I wanted to make this really clear because this is a number of questions have come in already about these differences. So if your full team is not here today at the bidders conference, I hope you will go back and ask your solution architects, your technical staff, and make sure they understand these important nuances of this tower. All right, let's move on to the next slide. We've gotten a number of questions about, so how is managed network services different from TXAN? Can't you get all of these services through TXAN? Why are we doing this? And the high level answer is, think of TXAN as a do-it-yourself model, more like co-op is for software and commodity purchasing. You can go to TXAN and you can build your own statement of work. You can manage your vendor. You can create a managed service. Or what we're hearing from our customers is more of a need to just buy a managed service. In a shared service model, you get the industry standard managed services offerings. The vendor is managed by DIR. The customer doesn't have to engage or worry about that. They don't have to negotiate service offerings. Everything's pre-negotiated. They know that there's going to be service oversight and governance from DIR, vendor management, SLA performance, all the MSI tools and services, incident management, and so forth, and all the business management, invoicing, chargeback to the customers. It is a fully managed service. So we have heard that customers are in need of this type of support. They don't have the ability to go out and build it themselves. And from a state perspective, why should each customer go build it for themselves when we can create a shared service and all can benefit from that volume? The vendor will invoice DIR, but through the MSI's monthly chargeback, and DIR will then invoice the customers. All right, let's move on. We set some specific vision and desired outcomes that are important to you as you develop your solution. What are we looking for? We want to provide industry-leading shared network services that utilize our expertise in procurement and program management and networking to provide our customers the network expertise, the enhanced security, and to minimize their risk, their security risks, and also their risks in being able to obtain the type of network expertise in personnel that they would need if they were doing it on their own. Many customers see this as an opportunity to fill that gap because we would be able to provide that expertise for them. So in doing so, what are the outcomes that we're looking for? Well, we want to provide availability and reliability and disaster recoverability, but it's also the access to the right network resources, managing risk, modernizing their technologies, enhancing their security, and then we create budget transparency for the Legislative Budget Board and our customers on what they're spending and how they're spending it. Next slide. I wanted to depict the various services that our customers will receive when they buy managed network services. You see in the box on the left, these are the services that are in the RFO scope of work before you. The services in the MSI box are services that overlay this direct service delivery. These are services provided by the MSI that vendors do not need to provide. Bidders should not include costs in their proposal to provide these services. For example, the ability to use ServiceNow and all of the tools that the MSI puts forward for communication and incident management, documentation, and so forth is already in place. You would just use that. We don't have customer relationship managers, for example, from each and every vendor. Rather, we have them with the MSI representing the entire program so that we don't have the cost of multiple vendors having multiple people going out to our customers and they no longer know who to go for what. Our cloud financial operations, of course, enterprise architecture, and all of these things come from the MSI. You'll see in the far right, Texan will continue to provide the voice and video conferencing, transport, cable, and wiring. If our customers need to make a procurement of this technology, they will do so through Texan. And you, as the vendor, will be facilitating, implementing, and managing over that equipment and software. Next, we have private cloud and public cloud manager on here because some of our customers already participate in the shared technology services and they have compute in either the public or private cloud. So they have network connectivity already to the public and private cloud. Some of those customers may submit a request for service to help them manage their connectivity. But again, they would be requesting that of you and you would not be providing that connectivity to the private cloud manager. You would be providing that support. All right, moving on. We also wanted to highlight the considerations for emerging technologies that you might propose within your bid. And the four key tenets are all about transparency, data protection, AI governance, and ensuring there is a human in the loop review. I point this out because that will be the expectation for any AI tools that you may propose or want to use in the program. Next slide. We have designated a few key personnel, key people being that we expect that you as the vendor will propose one of your employees to fill the role of the account director, transition director, technical director, and financial director. The instructions are pretty clear. We expect the named person to be proposed, not TBD, not fill in the blank later. We're asking you for a proposed person, and that you will ensure a 24-month commitment minimum from contract execution, and you will identify for us what percentage you believe that role will provide in this program. In other words, we're not requiring a full FTE for each of these key personnel, but we are asking you to tell us how much of that person would be dedicated to this contract. We are also asking for you to provide an organization chart that shows there are clear lines of authority and accountability for all aspects of this contract. We have a lot of service providers in our model, and we cannot manage disparate models that are not in control with clear accountability and authority. We have to ensure that your organization will operate efficiently without our oversight. All right, moving on. We often get questions about performance management. What is the model? How does it work? Why does it work this way? Our performance model consists of service level agreements, SLAs, that are both critical and key, and critical deliverables, which do have financial credits. For the service level agreements, the critical SLAs carry financial credits. The key do not. For those with financial credit earned back, there is an earned back opportunity. And our philosophy is to incentivize performance. We're not trying to generate revenue through financial credits. We are trying to incentivize performance. So if a critical SLA is missed and the vendor performs to the SLA for the following 3 months, then 50% of that credit is earned back. And if the vendor continues to perform the next 3 months, the remaining 50% of the financial credit is returned. The other thing that's important to note is that we do not have an SLA and financial credits on absolutely every part of the service delivery required. We can't. So we do expect, however, vendors to perform to the requirements in the contract, but also to what you propose in your solution. And so to do that, we retain the unilateral right to add or modify, elevate, or delete SLAs. If performance is declining and we have been unable to fix it, we have the unilateral right to elevate that to a key or a critical SLA. You should also know that every time a critical or key SLA is missed, there is a requirement for a service level improvement plan, and that is managed by the SLA. It is a standardized process that's documented, and it is in the data room for you to see, but we do require service level improvement plans. We also tie the MSI's SLAs to the SCPs that they are overseeing. So incident management, for example, the MSI is measured on the success of all the vendors that are doing incident management. So in order to have a performance model like this, I need to explain our service integration model. So let's go to the next slide. So the goal of our delivery model is to leverage the MSI as our service integrator to provide that single point of contact to customers and seamless service delivery across all providers. In order to do that, it requires all of the providers in our program to collaborate and to share in operating agreements. Let's go to the next slide. And when we say collaborate, we have defined that very specifically within your scope of work, Exhibit 1, as well as your master services agreement. I've pulled a few quotes from those documents that show our expectation for collaboration. These words are in every single service component provider's contracts. Everyone is held to the same expectation and standard that you will hold operating agreements with each other. You will work out your issues and problems together. You will collaborate on behalf of the program to do what's right for the customer, and know that there is a governance escalation allowed if you are unable to perform a portion of your services solely as a result of the failure of another service component provider. Let's go to the next slide. So looking at governance of our shared technology services program with the many customers that we do have, we have created an owner-operator framework where our customers are both the owner and the operator of the services that they receive. Customers will work directly with service providers to resolve local operational issues, anything specific to them, and customers will participate and are required to participate in our governance to address anything that might be an enterprise matter. Our model involves customers at all levels. We have a multiple solution groups and committees. We've established a representational model. We have divided our customers into partner groups, and to ensure that everyone's voice is heard, one member of that partner group is a member of whichever solution group or governance group we have, representing the rest of the members in that partner group. That helps us be more nimble to address issues, to resolve issues without having to bring every single customer to the table, which obviously is not very feasible. Our model is designed really to resolve issues. It's not a place where we just want advice. It is a place where customers join us, DIR, and our service component providers to resolve decisions and resolve issues and make decisions. This model then also allows us to have a single customer voice to all our vendors. All customers sign interagency agreements with DIR, and they agree to this model, they agree to the representational model part, and they agree to participate. So we have agreement that we're not providing a shared service 15 different ways, we're doing it one way. We also drive to consensus-based decisions, and we do have escalation paths. So going to the next slide is a picture of what that governance model looks like. The boxes on the bottom are all the solution groups, and you can see how they're all grouped by type of service being provided. Those groups are charged to solve issues, look for issues, and provide feedback to us of what their needs are. The IT Leadership Committee then oversees all of these solution groups. Our vendors are members on the ITLC as well as all of the solution group. Our vendors are encouraged to bring problems to these groups as well. The Business Executive Leadership Committee runs and owns our entire governance framework. Our service component providers are not members of the BELC, as we call it. They are invited as needed to discuss issues or help make decisions. The BELC is a voting membership. In case consensus cannot be reached through the ITLC, the BELC has the authority to vote. And that's our whole model and how we got to where we are. I hope that's helpful for you as you go out and start writing your responses. I think it's very helpful for you to get an idea and better information about our pricing. So I'm going to turn it over to our Deputy CFO, Jody Erickson.
Thank you, Sally. Appreciate it. Next slide, please. So there are 3 documents I want to talk to you today that make up the pricing portion of your response. Exhibit 2, Attachment 2.1, Attachment 2.2. The first document is Exhibit 2, and it describes all of the related financial requirements and the methodology for calculating and billing the charges. So it is the words that will be associated with what you should and how you should create your unit rates in Attachment 2.1. The second document, Attachment 2.1, is the main pricing document, and respondents should pay close attention to the instructions tab when completing each section of the proposal. The attachment must be completed and submitted with your response in accordance with the RFO instructions. And finally, the third document, Attachment 2.2, is an easy reference matrix that identify who pays for key components of the statement of work and the associated charging reference. Exhibit 2, the financial provisions and pricing, and Attachment 2.2, the financial responsibility matrix, are informational and do not need to be returned with your response. Next slide. So there are several sections here I want to cover with you. The first is pricing assumptions. So you should leverage the Q&A process to attempt to eliminate as many pricing instructions as possible prior to submitting your proposal. Let me say that again. Leverage the Q&A process to attempt to eliminate as many pricing assumptions as possible prior to submitting your proposal. The Q&A process is there to obtain the information you need to eliminate uncertainties and contributes to the need for an assumption. If you decide to include an assumption, marking the pricing impact as to be determined is not an acceptable response. We need to understand the magnitude of that assumption that you are making. And if you put something in there that you want to communicate as an assumption that does not have a pricing impact, please mark that as $0. Next is key considerations. Be sure that your pricing excludes activities normally included in pricing that are provided by the MSI and their integration services in our shared technology services model. So for instance, Sally indicated earlier that we have a shared billing and chargeback model. So that is, you need to contribute data to that model, but you would not be actually delivering a bill. So make sure you've accounted for that in any of your pricing and unit rates. For rate card, make sure the rates you propose are inclusive of any anticipated travel and meet required qualifications and experience. For transition, as Sally mentioned earlier, all transition costs must be related and priced based on a milestone basis. Pre-commencement milestones will be accepted as they are achieved, but will not be invoiced until commencement unless DIR otherwise agrees. And additionally, I'd like to emphasize that we are not expecting large transition costs. And then finally, we are looking for you to also give us information about volume discounts as we aggregate the volumes across all customers. We want to see some share in the benefits of those increased volumes, and we want you to give us that information in 2.1. Next slide. Also, as Sally mentioned earlier, attachment 2. Volumes are 0 since this is a new contract. Therefore, it's anticipated the summary charges in 2.1 will only include the respondent transition charges at contract execution. And finally, DIR anticipates minimal transition charges associated with MSI integration requirements. And also, we will be evaluating all unit rates for steady state run services for market competitiveness and state best value. So I think that covers my pricing topics, and I'm going to hand it back to Cassie.
Thanks, Jody.
Thank
Next, I will give the overview of the request for offer. Next slide. As stated, DIR seeks to procure a vendor to deliver top-tier network services to our customers to minimize risk, enhance security, and modernize state government systems. As a result of this RFO, DIR expects to receive and evaluate responses and select one successful respondent with whom to enter into a contract. The vendors and subcontractors performing the MSI functions are precluded from award of a contract resulting from this RFO due to the oversight functions and independence it requires. Next slide. The RFO includes several components beginning with the main RFO document itself. Each attachment, A through H, plays a critical role in evaluating your proposal. We will go more into detail on these attachments as we move forward. All required documents must be submitted for your response to be considered complete. Next. Which leads me into Exhibit 1. Exhibit 1 contains the full statement of work and its associated attachments and appendices. This includes the service level matrix, definitions, SMM content structure, key personnel requirements, and reporting details. Exhibit 2 focuses on financial provisions, pricing requirements, and the financial responsibility matrix. Respondents should carefully review these documents as they define how financial submission requirements should be completed. Next slide. In addition to the RFO and exhibits, respondents must also review the contract documents, including the Master Service Agreement. The MSA contains numerous attachments related to definitions, insurance, source code escrow, parent guarantees, and security requirements. As we move on to the RFO requirements, I want to note that respondents should confirm early on whether they can comply with these terms, as any exceptions must be documented in Attachment G. Next slide. As previously mentioned, DIR seeks to seeks a successful respondent to manage, modernize, and evolve MNS, which is a new service component to support eligible DIR customers within the STS program. The minimal qualifications requirements are 5 or more years experience providing managed network services in a multi-supplier environment within the past 10 years as stated in Exhibit 1, and also must held at least 3 contracts for similar major activities within the last 5 years that have a minimum annual contract value of $1 million per contract. Next slide. DIR anticipates that the term of the contract will be approximately 4 years with optional renewals of up to 4 years. The length of this term can be adjusted as necessary to account for a period of transition services or a stub period at the end of the fiscal year for a total anticipated contract award of between 8 to 10 years to be determined prior to contract award. Next slide. Speaking of time, the RFO schedule outlines the major procurement milestones. The bidders conference is today with questions due August 17th and responses due September 4th, both at 2 p.m. Central Time. Evaluations and clarifications will occur from September through December 2026, followed by integration sessions, due diligence, and negotiations from December 2026 through May 2027. Respondents must meet all deadlines to remain eligible for award consideration. Next slide. To support respondents in preparing their proposals, DIR maintains a digital data room that contains program details, historical data, operational documents, and other reference materials. There is a common data room and MNS specific digital data room for this procurement. Prospective respondents will need access for both areas. To gain access, you must complete the online request form, execute the required NDA, and email it to the point of contact listed in the RFO. The required NDA must be returned before access can be provided to any data room. Once access is approved, you will be notified. DIR will continue adding materials throughout the procurement, and respondents should check the electronic state business daily for all updates. I do want to stress that when submitting an access request, you must use your official company name as listed on the Secretary of State website. This is your official business name and not a DBA. Please make sure your names match. If they do not, we cannot grant access, and this may hamper further steps in the RFO process for your firm. That being said, access to the data room is not required in order to submit a response. It just contains information and data that you may find helpful. Excuse me. You will need to submit the access request and return assigned NDA before access may be granted. The link in section 3.31.2 of the RFO takes you to a landing page that provides instructions on requesting access. Next slide. Now we'll dive into a more detailed overview of what should be included in your response. Next. There are 4 required submission packages. And package 1 contains the administrative documents as such as the respondent information form and qualification materials. Package 2 covers your technical response to the service requirements. Package 3 contains all of your pricing documentation, and Package 4 is your completed State of Texas subcontracting plan. Each package should be clearly named according to the conventions in the RFO, and all documents must be included in your response to be considered. Responses must be submitted electronically and received before the deadline. Next. Now we will discuss the administrative files required in Response Package 1. Every document shown here is mandatory. These include the executive summary, respondent information form, technology solution summary, qualifications requirements, financial documentation, the RFO addenda, the PDAA assessment, VPATs, ACRs, and VASSR forms. Missing any required form could result in rejection of your response, so please validate each document thoroughly. Please note this procurement does require attachment F, questions and answers form to be submitted. Next slide. Moving on to Response Package 2. This includes your technical response to service requirements. This must include the technical solution summary, transition service enablement approach and methodology, transition project plan in both changeable and PDF formats, respondent experience, terminated contract disclosures, proposed account organization, and any exemptions documented in Attachment G. These materials demonstrate your ability to deliver on program needs and to transition services smoothly. Next slide. The last two required response packages are listed here. For Response Package 3, it contains your pricing submission, including attachments 2.1 response. Pricing must be clear, complete, and follow the instructions provided in Exhibit 2. Package 4 contains your completed State of Texas subcontracting plan. The plan is a pass-fail requirement, meaning that failure to submit a completed SP would disqualify your response. Next slide. Attachment A has to be signed. Your response will be disqualified if it is not. You must provide proof that you meet the minimum qualifications identified within the RFO as part of the response package number 1. And be sure to review the other pass-fail criteria outlined in RFO section 4.2.1 pass-fail criteria. Next slide. Continuing, attachments C, D, and E are the accessibility documents. The PDAA must be fully completed with the numerical scores, and the ACRs must be included for each product offering. The VASSR forms are required for any development-related services. Missing or incompleted documentation is a failed condition under the RFO. So please ensure these forms are accurate and complete. Next slide. As stated before, the attachment G is the exceptions form, which must be submitted as a separate Excel document, as well as a red line MSA as instructed in the RFO. Next slide. In this next section, we will walk through the evaluation criteria used to assess respondent submissions. Next slide. The evaluation criteria determines how proposals are reviewed and how best value is identified for the state. Under Section 4.1, DIR reviews each response for responsiveness. This includes a financial solvency review conducted by the CFO's office and a check for a completed State of Texas subcontracting plan. DIR may request clarifications in writing at any point. Only responses that pass all mandatory checks move forward for evaluation. Next slide. Moving to the pass-fail criteria in RFO section 4.2.1, pass-fail. In order to move forward in evaluation, respondents must have a valid DUNS number and financial report, along with a completed State of Texas subcontract plan. Respondents also need to comply with the government code sections listed. A proposal will fail if the vendor has a score below a C in the vendor performance tracking system or is under a corrective action plan for repeated negative performance. Also, if the respondent has had purchase orders terminated within the last 12 months for non-performance, the proposal will fail. If any of these conditions apply, the response cannot advance. Next slide. Finally, on the pass-fail, requirements are the minimal experience, qualifications, and accessibility forms, which we'll dive into more details later on in the presentation. Next slide. Here's a table summarizing how each component of the response is factored into a respondent's overall score. You have the main areas: technical solution, transition and service integration, pricing, proposed account organization, and experience. Next slide. Closing the evaluation criteria, now we will move into negotiation and discussion processes. Next slide. The key milestones in the RFO process are as follows: response submitted, discussion sessions, the evaluation of initial responses, the potential for a request for revised offer, one, due diligence and integration sessions, the possibility for RFRO2, due diligence, continued, and negotiations. I would like to stress that there is no guarantee that there will be multiple requests for revised offers. You should assume each iteration may be the last opportunity to revise the offer. Next slide, please. As part of the initial RFO evaluation, DIR will invite respondents that pass the administrative review to a series of discussion sessions. This is a great opportunity to gain a complete and accurate understanding of requirements and responses to this RFO. Next slide. The integration sessions will bring together selected respondents, the MSI, and other DIR service providers to make sure all proposed solutions align. To support that process, DIR may share respondents' technical solutions with certain SCPs and other providers as needed. The purpose of these sessions is to identify any gaps or overlaps between the respondent's solution and the existing solutions in the environment. Afterwards, respondents may be asked to submit a revised offer to address any alignment issues in both the solution and pricing. Please note that technical solutions or other bid materials will not be shared with other respondents. Next slide. DIR may, in its discretion, determine whether to request oral presentations and/or engage in the revised offer process. And it may be ongoing. Due diligence allows respondents to ask more detailed questions about DIR operations. This ensures the respondent's solution is fully informed and accurately priced. Next slide. This slide outlines how contract awards will be made. DIR executive management will make the final decision on any award based on what is in the best interest of DIR and the state. That decision is final. Once a contract is executed, any award resulting from this RFO will be posted to the electronic state business daily under the requisition number. This ensures full transparency in the award process. And now I will pass the baton to Teresa to discuss the subcontracting plan requirements.
Thank you, Cassie. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Williamson. I am the Director of the Business Outreach Coordination Office, and we're going to talk about the State of Texas subcontracting plan requirements. Next slide, please. All right. Subcontracting has been found probable for any contract that may be awarded from the solicitation requiring the State of Texas subcontracting plan. Every respondent must complete and sign a State of Texas subcontracting plan. A copy has been attached to the RFO documents for your use. You will be required to use this copy. The form is new and it does include instructions on how to complete. Please make yourselves familiar with the new form, but also remember that the Business Outreach Coordination Office is also here to assist you. Next slide. All respondents, Vet Hub or non-Vet Hub, are required to submit a State of Texas subcontracting plan, also known as your SP. Failure to submit a completed, signed State of Texas subcontracting plan will result in your response being rejected. Cassie had referred to that earlier, as this is a pass or fail item. Next slide. There are two ways to complete the State of Texas subcontracting plan. You will either self-perform or subcontract. If you are self-performing a contract, you will complete sections 1, 2, and 3, noting yes that your company will be self-performing, signing and dating the document in section 3, and submitting the completed document with your bid submission. Next slide. If you will be subcontracting any portion of a contract, you will complete the good faith effort. Please follow instructions as they are laid out in sections 5.3 in the new form. The good faith effort does include notifying subcontracting opportunities to 2 certified vet hubs, allowing them a minimum of 7 business days to respond to you. Remember to sign and date your completed form. You are required to submit copies of your correspondence with your subcontracting plan submission. Next slide. My contact information is listed here. We will provide you with a complimentary or courtesy review of your subcontracting plan prior to the due date of this RFO as time permits. You must contact us no later than 10 business days prior to the due date of this RFO. So please do take advantage of that complimentary review because we are here to assist you with that. And remember when you're corresponding with the Business Outreach Coordination Office to copy the procurement lead on all correspondence. Next slide. I'll turn it over to Marie. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Fox. I am a statewide digital accessibility program specialist, and I'm going to be going over the digital accessibility requirements and forms. Next slide, please. A little background on digital accessibility. It covers other terms you may have heard, like electronic and information resources, or EIR, and information and communications technology, or ICT. This is the state's effort to ensure all of our tools and technologies, including products, services, and related digital documentation, are accessible to all Texans. This is mandated under Texas Government Code Chapter 2054, Texas Administrative Code Chapters 206 and 213, and the state of Texas follows the World Wide Web Consortium's WCAG 2.1 AA standard. Next slide, please. Digital accessibility documentation is required for all vendors responding to technology solicitations. The intent of these documents is to assist agencies and institutions of higher ed in identifying accessible technology and how it complies with accessibility rules and standards. We ask our vendors to provide the required accessibility documentation in accessible format, and to be aware that our customers can request this documentation at any point in time during the life of the contract. I'm going to go over these 3 accessibility documents in the following slides. These are the Policy-Driven Adoption for Accessibility, the PDAA, the Vendor Accessibility Development Services Information Request, the VADSR, and the Accessibility Conformance Report, the ACR. Next slide, please. Going into the PDAA, which is, again, the Policy-Driven Adoption for Accessibility Self-Assessment. It's a NACIO-sponsored assessment that is designed to help us understand how your organization incorporates digital accessibility into its overall business practices, like internal policies, procedures, and operations, to ensure digital accessibility is integrated from product development and service delivery to customer support and documentation. The PDAA is not an assessment of the products or services in your response. It's to help us understand the responding organization's accessibility maturity. Using the spreadsheet provided in your packet, please answer all the questions to the best of your ability with a numerical value only of 0, 1, 2, or 3. And please using no check marks or non-numerical values. Again, this is a required document for all vendors responding to technology solicitations. Also, it's important to note that a PDAA will fail if it's missing, incomplete, or has a score of 0. Even if your organization is newer to accessibility, it is possible to have a score higher than 0. Next slide, please. Here we have an example of the PDAA maturity matrix, where the launch stage, which is the second column here from the left, will show a more beginner level, and going down the line to the last column, the optimized stage will show a more advanced level. Next slide, please. The Accessibility Conformance Report of the ACR is a completed voluntary product accessibility template, or VPAT, that shows how a product conforms to WCAG success criteria. All products in the response must have an individual ACR for each product. The ACR should have an evaluation date within the last 2 years. Please remember to include explanations for anything not fully supported. Agencies and institutions of higher ed have the discretion to adopt a higher WCAG standard and to request an ACR at the time of their procurement, just so that they can make the best informed decision. Next slide, please. Going into the VPAT, or the Voluntary Product Accessibility Template. This is an example of the WCAG 2.1 AA success criteria that are divided into the 4 core principles, which are perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. For example, for perceivable, does it have alt text for screen reader users? For operable, can it be navigated by a keyboard-only user? For understandable, is plain language used? And for robust, does it have the valid HTML markup? Next slide, please. So these are the conformance levels describing how a product conforms to the success criteria during testing. Testing methods should include manual testing and not just automated testing. For criteria not fully supported, please provide explanations. Next slide, please. This Vendor Accessibility Development Service Information Request, otherwise known as the VADSIR. It's a form that must be completed for development services, including web and mobile applications and custom development services as part of an integrated solution. The VADSIR should be completed with as much detail as possible to help us understand developer training and how digital accessibility best practices are incorporated into the development lifecycle. Next slide, please. This slide shows a high-level review of the VADSIR questions. The questions ask about product development and project management processes and stages, developer training, such as the resources they use, development and testing tools, those types of methodologies, the processes and tools on how issues or defects are documented, tracked, and resolved. And also how any work that is non-compliant will be supported. We also request you provide sample work using a link. We understand that sample work may not be available. If one is not provided, we will test the responding vendor's website. Again, please be very detailed when answering these questions. Next slide, please. We have additional resources on our website. We have a page for procurement and vendor information where you can find the VPAT template, the VADSIR, and the PDAA, as well as the PDAA maturity matrix. These templates should all be included in your packet. If you have any questions with accessibility at all, please feel free to reach out to us at statewide-accessibility@dir.texas.gov. Please copy the procurement lead on any communications related to the solicitation. And lastly, we can do a courtesy review of the PDAA and the VADSIR. Please send those to us at the same email address at statewide-accessibility@dir.texas.gov. And again, please copy the procurement lead. Thank you for your time today.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Walton, Assistant General Counsel of DIR. Just going to take a few minutes to go over some legal considerations as you consider responding to this RFO. Next slide, please. It's important that in reviewing the RFO package that you become familiar with the Master Services Agreement, or MSA. This is the template that will be used for any awarded contract. Bracketed items in the MSA will be completed prior to award. Also, prior to award, DIR may make changes to the MSA, though any respondents selected for negotiations will be notified. Respondents are instructed to review the MSA and attachments as part of the RFO and note any exceptions to the contents with their initial response. Next slide, please. Regarding exceptions, respondents are not encouraged to request exceptions to the MSA or any other RFO documents. However, if respondents do have any additional requested terms, the exceptions process is the way to do that. Respondents must carefully distinguish between exceptions, which must be noted in RFO Attachment G, versus pricing assumptions, which must be noted separately in Exhibit 2, Attachment 2.1. If there are no exceptions, the respondent must also explicitly state that it takes no exceptions. Next slide, please. Regarding exceptions, DIR will consider exceptions in determining the best value for the state. DIR will accept, reject, or negotiate exceptions in its sole discretion. Any exception or combination of exceptions or prolonged negotiations may result in a respondent being removed from consideration. And a reminder, exceptions must be submitted with the initial response. Any exceptions not submitted with the initial response shall not be considered later on in the process. Next slide, please. Regarding designated contacts, vendors and all vendor representatives, including potential subcontractors, shall not discuss the contents of this RFO with any DIR employees or representatives other than the designated contacts. That information is available in the RFO. Failure to observe this restriction may result in disqualification of any related response. Next slide, please. Legal entity name. Respondents must use their legal entity name. It must match the name exactly that is registered with the Texas Secretary of State. Respondents may not abbreviate or use only a DBA. Respondents may include a DBA in addition to the legal entity name, but only if that DBA has been properly registered with the Secretary of State. The DUNS number provided by the respondent must match its legal entity name and the address that is on record with Dun & Bradstreet to ensure that a proper match is made. Failure to provide the correct legal entity name and DUNS number may lead to delays in contract award. Next slide, please. Regarding the Public Information Act, all information submitted, including documents, emails, and attachments, is subject to the Public Information Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 552. Respondents shall submit a redacted and non-redacted copy of their responses if there's any information that they would like to identify as confidential, proprietary, or copyrighted. Information that is not clearly marked will be released upon public information request. Information that is clearly marked will be submitted to the Office of the Attorney General to determine whether the requested information should be released. Please coordinate with your legal counsel in reviewing your documents and making sure that they are properly marked. And follow the instructions in section 3.6.8 of the RFO for more details. Next slide, please. All right. Wanted to bring to your attention something that has recently changed in some of our contract documents, and there's actually a minor typo here that will be corrected when this presentation is published. But MSA section 420 details artificial intelligence requirements for the successful respondent to this RFO. The AI requirements include compliance with the Texas AI Code of Ethics and minimum risk management and governance standards. Both the Code of Ethics and the minimum risk management and governance standards have been adopted in 1 Texas Administrative Code 219. We encourage respondents to review those provisions in preparing their responses. And with that, I believe I hand it back to Cassie.
Thank you, Chris. As we approach the end of this presentation, I just wanted to briefly restate some important takeaways and the Q&A process. Next slide. As a reminder, all questions submitted before the conference and any asked during the Q&A period will be answered in an addendum posted to the ESBD. Respondents must rely solely on ESBD for the official updates throughout the procurement. Next slide. We strongly encourage respondents to read the RFO in its entirety before submitting questions. Many common inquiries are already addressed in the Statement of Work, Exhibits 1 and 2, and the Digital Data Room. The Common Data Room contains program details and operating models. Due to MNS being a new service component, there will be no tower-specific documentations. However, additional details may be added throughout the solicitation process. Next slide. One of the biggest challenges we have is being able to answer your questions while still leaving sufficient time for you to develop your solution and proposal. We strongly encourage respondents to read the RFO in its entirety before submitting questions, and all questions must be submitted using the prescribed method outlined in the RFO and on the appropriate documents, which is Attachment F, Questions and Answers form. Next slide. We will now close the Managed Network Services Bidders Conference. All questions and inquiries must be emailed to enterprise609 at dir.texas.gov. Continue checking the ESBD frequently for updates and official communications related to this RFO. Next slide. Thank you for attending.